Star Wars fans at D23 got a brand new Rise of the Resistance trailer. What's real? What's not? Let's figure this out together.
This outpost is in danger from the First Order. The Resistance needs your help. Now more than ever. Thank you for joining the cause. And may the Force be with us.
I've waited my whole life for this. Are you?
Pull up.
Now, before we dive into this footage harder than anyone's ever diving into 35 seconds of attraction footage at a theme park, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It would help me a lot. It would help the growth of this channel, and the more support I get, the better my videos are going to get. It's going to be a brand new journey for all of us. So the trailer starts with the backside of Kylo Ren. We can see he's standing sort of elevated, looking down into what appears to be a room full of people, guests. They're kind of situated down this hallway looking back up at him. Perhaps this is a pre-show, or maybe he's just standing above the queue admiring his new detainees, or perhaps he's interrogating them, not unlike he does when he walks through the streets of Batuu. Now the next clip is a little quicker. We can clearly see Poe Dameron's X-Wing fighter right on the other side, which means these doors closing are the doors that belong to the ITS, or the Resistance Inter-System Transport Ship, which is that blue spaceship that you actually board onto, leading into the second pre-show room that kind of tells the story and how you experience eventually ending up on Kylo Ren's finalizer, or his Star Destroyer, essentially. And this outdoor area, which is kind of like a hangar that both ships are sitting in, is also where the rumored 9-Numb animatronic is, where he's kind of yelling at you and trying to get you guys to move along hastily. Not a whole lot to see here, it's except a bit of the outdoor queue, and I think it's safe to assume the people walking around and the guy working on the X-Wing are just actors for the sake of the promotional video. We're then shown something that we've actually already seen before from some more promotional construction photos of the inside of the main hangar of the finalizer and the scaled down TIE fighter. We now have a great view of the main loading area, aka the hangar. This is where your trackless fleet transport ride vehicles will actually pick you up for the ride. We see 2 First Order officers, those are of course the cast members. And this is by far the largest scene in the ride. The scale is absolutely insane. And supposedly they're using force perspective on some of the stormtroopers, meaning they're not full scale, and the smaller scaled TIE fighter means that this is going to look even bigger. It should be really impressive. This is actually one of the things I'm looking forward to seeing the most inside of Rise of the Resistance. And of course we get a good look at the whole squadron of animatronic stormtroopers moving their heads around. I wouldn't expect to see too much movement from these guys apart from looking in different directions and maybe reacting to certain things. Think something along the lines of the goblins in Gringotts in the queue, how they kind of look around, but they move just enough to look realistic. I'm pretty much expecting the same sort of effect here. And now we're shown the inside of the Resistance Command Center. And this is the first pre-show room before you actually board the ITS. This is kind of the first thing you'll encounter in the whole story, just before you pass by Poe Dameron's X-Wing and before you board the ITS, the blue space shuttle. And also V. If you don't know who V is, she's actually a walk-around character at Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, and she's been seen at Walt Disney World. She's the lone Resistance spy who Kylo Ren is looking for. But I think this is where the trailer kind of gets a little misleading, because the early reports were that the first pre-show room where V is shown is supposed to have an animatronic BB-8, and Rey is the one who is allegedly going to brief you on your mission. So I think that in this trailer, this is a bit of a red herring, and that could be to keep it a surprise, or maybe Rey has a specific appearance that they're trying to keep hidden, or perhaps plans fell through and they want V to take a more prominent role inside of Galaxy's Edge. Now, this next part makes me a little sad. This is, of course, the scene where Kylo Ren apparently jabs his lightsaber through the ceiling. I was hoping that this would be done practically as it is in the video, but I don't think that's the case. I think this is a lot of what you're seeing is a visual effect, and what I mean by that is specifically the sparks that are flying off through the roof, and of course the jitteriness of Kylo Ren's lightsaber that kind of makes it distinctively Kylo Ren's lightsaber. And if you watch these frames on repeat, you can kind of tell that they didn't really do any motion tracking. You can see the visual effect applied over the video. The video is moving, but the effect and the glowiness of the lightsaber is stationary the first couple frames. And you can also tell by the way his lightsaber is masked around their heads, it's not perfect. But there is a glimmer of hope. I actually do believe that the lightsaber sticking through the ceiling will be a practical effect, minus the sparks and the glowiness. We can see a little prop sticking through before the video effect is applied. Yeah, I really need something better to do with my free time. Then we have just a PR shot of people, reacting to something and laughing and having a fun time. Nothing really new here, but this next shot of this vehicle riding down this pristine hallway, I think is epic and shows kind of the scale of the ride, and of course the astromech piloting. I don't think these droids have names yet, at least not officially announced, other than astromech droids. And now we enter the AT-AT maintenance room, I guess I can call it. Those sparks are definitely for promotional use with some questionable blaster fire effects. Then we can see the stormtroopers up in the top right. Now I'm guessing these are a projection effect. Mainly because in the next shot we'll see more stormtroopers that are definitely a projection effect. This doesn't really show us anything, it just kind of pans across. You get more questionable blaster fire effects that don't track. And then now we have this. I believe this is also the same stormtrooper that we saw just a couple seconds ago. And I'm also thinking that this is projection effect because the squinching when the camera starts to turn actually doesn't line up perfectly. And it creates that distortion effect that, when not at the right angle, makes it look really off and kind of gives it an artificial Jaws look. If you don't know what squinching is, if you've ever ridden Transformers or Spider-Man at Universal, or Radiator Springs Racers in Ramones, it's when the background sort of auto shifts itself so that it looks like, from your perspective, the backgrounds look natural and not compressed. Now this next shot, there's no way these sparks are going to be in the final ride. But I believe this is just another angle of those the projection stormtroopers we've been talking about the past couple shots, but from the opposite side of the AT-AT room. And this guy is just looking up at the AT-ATs. Honestly, find yourself a man or a woman that looks at you like this guy looks at this AT-AT. And this next scene, of course, the AT-AT head is tracking while the ride vehicle moves backwards. If I'm correct, I believe that is heading backwards into the elevator lift that'll take you up into the second floor. There are two elevator lifts that are just off of the AT-AT hangar, one that's kind of in the front and one that's kind of in the side. This one is the one to the side. And now they're slowly backing up. The astromech is having a little freak out session. Sorry, little buddy. And then they continue to back up into what I believe the next room is the elevator lift taking you up. And that's it. That's the new footage. So what do you guys think about Rise of the Resistance? Are you excited? Did this video change your opinion in any way, shape, or form? I personally am incredibly excited because it seems to be using almost every single trick in the book. A mixture of projection effects, illusioneering, practical sets, a brand new ride system that we haven't seen here in California. And by that I mean a trackless dark ride. We do have trackless rides, but that's a different story. I can't wait to ride it. And it opens at Disney's Hollywood Studios on December 5th. And Disneyland just a few weeks later on January 17, 2020. And naturally, the morning after, I spend an entire day editing this entire video talking about what could be Disney does a media tour in Orlando showing pretty much everything we discuss. Luckily, it seems pretty close to what I'm speculating. which is good. But yeah, what do you guys think about Rise of the Resistance? Are you excited to ride as much as I am? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to show me some love as well, and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling, for the latest theme park news and whatever I want to make theme park videos about. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget that life is an e-ticket, so you just gotta hold on tight.